to India and Ireland, round Africa and back again. We don't really need to know just where we'll go. Maybe Canada, then to Brazil, then through the Alpine foothills. All I really want to know is, can we go? Oh baby, can we go? Round and around the globe.
Welcome to Take Me With You, episode 66. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Cheryl. We are two well-traveled people who want to go everywhere.
But that's not going to happen. So instead, we'll travel vicariously by inviting a guest to share their unique travel stories with us.
Today, we are going to play you a previously recorded conversation that Ryan had with a friend of the show and hopefully a future friend of the show. Dawn and Ingrid are two of our local Disney experts. And Ryan, do you want to explain what you did there?
Sure. So I will say that I would say they are both friends of the show. Dawn has been a guest on our show already. Ingrid has not, but she listens to every episode.
Oh, that's sweet.
So she is a regular listener.
That's lovely.
And
hi, Ingrid.
It is lovely. Yep. And Ingrid lives a few hours away from where I live. Dawn and I live relatively close to each other. And so the two of us a little while ago, Dawn and I kind of drove down to just go visit Ingrid and her husband, James, and their daughter to just hang out for an afternoon. And since I knew we were going there, and it's virtually impossible for all of us to hang out together and not talk about Disney in some form. So I brought my microphone with me. And as soon as we started talking about it, I was like, wait, hold on. We got to record this. So it was mostly me and Dawn and Ingrid. And we just sat around the table and they gave me advice about what to do for my trip to Disneyland that's coming up in February. Because as I think we actually figure out during that conversation how long ago it was that I was there, but it was a long time ago. And so never as an adult, and Disneyland has changed immensely since then. So they kind of talk me through a lot of things and give me some tips and suggestions, but it literally is just our conversation that we had that we just recorded. So it wasn't necessarily planned, and it's not so much asking interview questions the way we typically do on the podcast, but it was super helpful for me in getting at least some of the logistics and the day-to-day of how to plan going to Disneyland.
And yeah, I think that so over the next several weeks, I think actually all of February, we're going to be talking about Disneyland. And so this
It'll be
is the
the month
first
of Disney.
4 episodes. And this is the Disney month for us. And and this episode is really great for like really getting into how to use the app and some of the different rides and things like that. And I found it really helpful as someone who last visited 4 years ago. It sounds like even since then, things have changed. Also, Ryan,
Yeah.
I don't know in the future how much I'm going to let you record without me because I had so much FOMO while I was editing it. Oh, my goodness. I was like, they're laughing without me.
Wait, what do you mean?
And they're talking about Disneyland without me. And it was really difficult. So the next time you talk about Disneyland, can you take me with you, please?
Well, okay. I think you and I are going to talk to your sister about Disney.
Yes,
so I think
and I'm
we've
going
got
to be there for that,
coming
okay?
up. Yeah, you are. And then very shortly after I get back from Disneyland, you and I are going to record an episode about my trip. And so, because I get back on a Saturday and we'll be recording on a Monday. So there won't be a lot of other people that I will have had time to even talk about it yet. So there you go. Does that make up for it a little bit?
Yes, I feel better now. All right. Well, listeners, I hope that you don't have FOMO and just enjoy this episode.
Am I allowed to drink water?
You are allowed to do whatever you want. Just be aware that whatever happens may be recorded.
Cool.
Is being recorded. I'm actually going to move this over
this
here.
conversation
Like
is
this.
being recorded.
Exactly.
Anything you say or do can't
Yes.
be used
So,
against you.
I mean, so you can start with whatever you want, and then if need be, I have questions.
Okay.
So.
I feel like we should start with the app because the Disneyland app is like how you navigate everything.
And the app itself is free.
It's free.
Because there's pay stuff too, but it all goes through the app.
It's free. You can buy things like food, which I would highly suggest mobile ordering.
Yeah, which I'm gonna.
We'll
I need
talk
more
about that in a
information
minute.
about that too.
Yes. So if you look at the app.
Okay,
and you,
I'm going to just download it right now.
Yes.
So
you need to download the app,
which
and
I'm
then you
gonna
need
do.
to create your own Disney account if you don't already have one.
Ooh, I have no idea. Is it
Well,
just?
you have a Disney Plus, so you should have a Disney account.
Is it the same?
Yes.
Okay.
All
then
of
I do.
Disney is linked to all the things, so you log in with
ESPN.
that.
Okay, so hold on. So is it the Disneyland app?
Disneyland.
Okay.
So there's two apps you will probably want. One is
Two
Disneyland, and the other one's Disney Play. Disney Play will just be where you can do things like
those are the
decode
things-
things in Star Wars Galaxy's
Entertainment
Edge.
while you're in line.
Okay, I heard it. That's relatively new. Yes.
Yes,
Like
it's
within the
only a
last
couple
year or
years.
two.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
take like quizzes while you're on. Like if you were on Small World, they have like a quiz.
Okay.
You can try to answer
So basically,
questions.
how you keep from being super bored while you're
Yeah.
in line for too
Yes.
long.
Yes, especially since you will likely be by yourself. It's a fun way to
Yeah.
And you earn
things.
like,
stickers and.
but
things.
they have like
Things that
Virtual
actually,
stickers.
that actually count towards something or no?
Disney parks trivia. And no, you don't. Just pride.
Yeah, okay. Those things
They
tend
just
not
make
to
you feel
motivate
good
me.
about
But okay,
yourself.
so there's the Disneyland, and then what was the
Yes.
other one?
Disney Play.
Disney Play. Disney Play.
Oh, I have another new achievement.
See, it definitely works for some people. Disney Play Disney Parks.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Play Disney
I have a
Parks.
hitchhiking ghost.
Ooh, congratulations.
Yeah, download now. That's fine.
Okay. Do you want me to show your mine
can-
while
sure,
you're waiting?
that's fine.
So at the top of it is like your menu that you can scroll down and we'll
Ooh,
show
but
you
see,
all
mine
the
might look
things.
different because you have an iPhone.
I do have an iPhone.
I
I think
have
it's a
an
pretty
Android.
universal, similar app though.
I'm sure that the overall functionality is, but where I would go to find things in menus could be different. So
Well, let's talk about what it has on it though.
Okay,
So
great.
it
Tell me
lists
all
all the
about it.
attractions. So when you're under that section, it gives you the wait time for every ride in both Disneyland Resort and in California Adventure. So in either
it's called
of the
Disneyland Resort.
DLR or DCA. Yes.
jeez.
I know. For the hardcore people. Yes. it's
Introducing
called
your new dynamic home screen. Okay. Great. I'm so
Way to
happy
cover
for
your
it.
Good job.
Do I want
No,
push
she's doing good.
notifications
Yes.
I'm just
Because then it'll
waiting
tell
because
you
of-
and
if
location
you have-
permission?
Yes.
I do need it to do location?
You would like that.
I
At
would.
least while you're using it, yes, because it'll show you where you are on the map.
Yes.
You'll know where you are, and you
Okay.
want that.
Okay. I'm all logged in.
Okay. You can scan in your ticket from here as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Scan in my ticket.
So assuming you have a ticket,
Yeah, I don't know what that's going to look like.
I don't know what that will look like since your sister works for Disney. But
Yeah, I don't know what
You
that's
still
going
should be able to add it.
you still should be able to add something that'll let
Something.
you like scan into the park. You can scan it onto here. So
Okay.
for the rest of us who buy our own tickets and things, you can
I may have to
scan-
buy a ticket too.
Yeah, you scan it in through. You can add it to the app and scan it. So like
Or if
I've
you're at
ordered
Disney
tickets
World,
before.
You have the bracelet, which is
yeah.
even more cool.
That is cooler, but there's not that at Disneyland.
So where do you scan in a ticket?
So
Because I don't have I don't have a thing
yeah.
at the top.
So at the bottom, there's
I
a
see.
plus. That's where you'll do
okay.
all the important things.
Gotcha. See, this is why I needed it on my phone because it's
Yeah, which is the same as mine.
It's the same on
Oh,
yeah.
but you have a thing up at the top that I don't have,
Okay.
right? Like you have the little menu up. I don't
Well,
have
that's
a menu. Up
that's once you're in the map.
So once you go into the map,
Oh,
Okay,
I
It's
see,
actually
okay.
exactly the same.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
it is. So at the bottom with
I didn't
the
realize
plus
that I
sign
could get into the
is
map.
where you can get Max Pass if you choose to get that. It's $15 a day per person. Currently, used to be $10, but now it's more.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that gets you fast passes from your phone.
Get Fast Pass with Disney Max Pass. So it's all together because you can
Yes.
do Fast Passes without the Max Pass.
Yes. So this gets you them from your phone. It also gives you a photo pass at Disneyland. So
And that's what you said you didn't use.
It's just you take your picture in different places.
so anywhere there's a Disneyland photographer, they'll
Yep.
scan you have like a little barcode and they
Yep.
can scan it and then
So
they'll give
I
you your
definitely
pictures.
need to bring my power brick with me.
Yes.
Every day.
I actually
Absolutely.
took both of mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Depending on how long they last.
I can get multiple full phone
But I
charges out of
also
my
did
power brick.
stuff like playing Pokemon Go while I'm at Disneyland.
I was going to do that, but I'm going to use my camera.
And you'll use Disney Play to a certain extent,
Probably.
especially in Galaxy's Edge, because
Yeah.
you can translate things and you can accept missions on Disney Play.
Oh, really?
You can decide if you want to fight for the Resistance or if you want, like, it's a
Why would I
thing.
want to fight for the First Order?
Because some people find it's fun.
They're wrong.
But you get to pick sides, and you get all these different missions and things, so you have extra things to do while you're waiting in
See,
line.
this is what. Yeah, okay.
So
Definitely. Yep.
you need Disney Play. So you definitely
Okay,
need.
I have it
Yes,
because I downloaded that one too.
Power brick.
You
Yes,
definitely need a power brick.
absolutely.
Yeah,
That's a must.
I mean, I typically travel with one anyway, but it sounds like I will need to bring it with me into the park every day.
Yes, absolutely.
And make sure that it's charged the
Yes.
night
Yes.
before and everything. Okay.
They do have a charging thing. I don't remember
But
what
then
the
you're gonna
company
have to
is, but you
sit-
can buy like and swap them through.
Oh, yeah, they do at the airport.
Yeah, they're like
You buy one that's already full of a charge, and when
Yeah.
it's done, you put it into the machine, and it gives you a new one out that's fully charged.
But you still pay for it.
you have to pay initially for it, and then you pay. I don't think you actually have to pay to exchange them anymore at Disneyland.
know.
I think you do other places, but not at Disneyland.
Just bring your own.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
one.
Bring your own
I've
if
got
you have one.
Yeah,
Though.
I'll bring it.
Okay, so let's go to the same plus menu. So that's where you can get your Fast Pass with the Max Pass.
Right, and that I have to have a ticket already to do.
You have to be in the park to purchase a Max Pass unless
See?
you buy it ahead of time.
Wait, unless you buy it ahead of time.
With your ticket. So you can purchase a ticket ahead of time with a Max
The
Pass.
Max Pass.
Oh, kind of like bundled together.
And then it's already set. Otherwise, until you have stepped inside of Disneyland and it locates that you are inside either
can you-
California Adventure or Disneyland, you can't do it.
Be just in the Disney
You have to be in the park.
area.
Because it won't let you, it also won't let you book any fast passes until you have stepped inside. We did a dining package at the Hungry Bear Cafe once. Hungry Bear
that
Cafe
in the
restaurant,
Old Country?
which is kind of across from, kind of near Splash Mountain. It's where you'll enter, or one of the places you can enter for Galaxy's Edge. But you could pick up your food at any point during the day and then eat wherever. And then you showed up. We went on the 4th of July, so we still showed up an hour early to wait in a line to get our priority seating. But dining packages are how you'll get the best seating. Eating at the Blue Bayou gets you like a fancy seat cushion, I've heard, which is the restaurant that's inside Pirates of the
Right, but then
Caribbean.
you're not actually eating there for the.
None of it's for the show. So you get like with your restaurant reservation, they give you a fast pass for like a paper fast pass for the show. And then all the cast members, because
Okay.
people that work at Disneyland are
called cast members, yeah.
They all will you'll have to show them your pass to sit down. So when we got there, we were the first people there, so we got very front row. Like I could feel water.
But you literally cannot see any of the shows
without
a fast pass. That
the
is
show. So that's just for Fantasmic and World of Color.
Okay, so Fantasmic I've actually seen. It
Okay.
it existed however many years ago.
Oh yeah,
when
it's
we
been
went.
around for a long time.
There was no ticket or anything. I don't think
No,
people
you
just
just
kind
went
of
and showed up
gathered
and
on
sat.
whatever.
Yes.
That does not happen anymore.
That does
is what
not
you're
happen
telling
anymore,
me.
is what I'm telling you. Yes.
Okay, that's good to know because I would have assumed that that's just what
Yes,
you did.
and then they would have said, "Keep on moving."
I'd be like, no, I want to watch the show.
Yeah, and which is what a lot of people do is they're like, we want to watch it. So you want to if you know the day you're going to stay late or days, then that morning when you go in,
That's one of the fast passes.
That's one of the fast passes.
Because you can only have a certain number of. You were explaining that to me.
So the show does not affect your other fast passes. So it's not like you got this fast pass and now you can't get another one for another like 3 hours or whatever.
Okay, so it's still called a fast pass, but it's its own separate
It's
thing.
its own separate thing. It's not linked
Okay.
to the other things.
Okay.
So
So fast pass, but then you
yes.
said max pass.
So Max Pass is just paying for fast passes, and the reason
you
you're
can do it
paying
through
for
your
them because
phone.
then you can do it through your phone.
Because if you don't do it through your phone, you have to go to a physical location in
you
the
have to
park
go
get it.
buy that thing. So if you want one to Splash Mountain, you've got to go. You don't.
I don't want one
I
to
know
Splash
you
Mountain,
don't.
but hypothetically speaking,
Let's
sure.
say you did.
Let's say I was crazy.
Let's
okay.
say you wanted to get really wet and be cold
And
and
drop.
miserable and drop really far.
Yep.
Which I know you
Sounds
love.
Great.
Your favorite things.
It's really a fun ride.
Yeah, if you like dropping.
Yeah.
You
So you don't go on the
John
roller
Wilson.
coasters?
Do you remember? You are the only person who has actually been on a real roller coaster with me. Do you not remember
I do not
this?
remember this. This is awesome.
SMT.
Okay.
We went to Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Okay, yes.
And
I do remember that.
early in the day, we went on the Colossus, the big
my
white
favorite.
wood
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
And I didn't want to go because I was like, I don't like roller coasters. And somehow you convinced me to go.
I convinced
you.
you?
Did. And we sat next to each other. And I hated it.
I'm so sorry.
It's not. I mean, it's not your. I'm not angry at you,
That's so
but like,
funny.
because I do not like the feeling of falling, which is what most people love about roller coasters. I hate that feeling.
Well, how are you going to go on these rides?
I'm not going to go on all of these rides.
Most of Disney rides are not super intense.
Well, he's not going to have to worry about the wait time. The fast passes are not going to be a problem because the fast passes that get taken up most of the time are Splash Mountain, Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain.
That's true. You might not really. Small World, which will probably be closed when you're there because they'll be switching over from the holiday.
Pirates would be a good one to get a fast pass for. I got one at...
They have a machine that's there that they could, I think, but I don't think they actually have fast passes. You may not need to do Max Pass because it is the major rides. It's like the e-ticket rides, the big
E-ticket ride!
It is.
Yeah. Not many people know that, though.
So it's like the big ones that you're probably not going to hit up. I mean, maybe you'd want to go on You'd probably like Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
That could be helpful.
Well, and I've heard that one of them, I don't remember which one, is it
Okay, but
Matterhorn or Thunder Mountain
are you
Railroad?
gonna
That isn't
go
really a big drop.
On
Big Thunder Mountain is
Millennium
not.
Falcon, because it has small drops and thrill. It's called small drops.
It is
and thrill.
It does
it
not
does-
have drops. It's,
That's what it says.
It's a lie.
I have been
It's
on it,
simulated.
and it is not. It's simulated. It feels similar to Star Tours. If you've
Yeah.
ever been on Star Tours, I don't know.
I have been on Star Tours.
Okay, it feels similar to that.
Wait, how? Oh, no, I'm all confused.
Okay, so you can book Max passes. Are you're still trying to figure that stuff out?
Well, because I was...
What might make sense to
How
do
did-
is do your max pass for the first day and determine whether or not it's useful to you, rather than paying for it for all of the days.
And I don't think you can. I think you have to actually physically go in and pay for it each
Well,
day.
unless you buy it ahead of time.
Which
Yes,
I won't be doing.
because you're not
Right.
buying your tickets ahead of time.
So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, though.
But if you did it the first day, then you could get a sense of, like, do I need to do it for the other days or not?
That's what I wanted. They changed the menu on me since I just looked at it. Okay, so Thunder Mountain Railroad, Buzz Lightyear, Phantasmic, Goofy's Sky School.
You do not want to do that.
No,
one.
don't do
Okay.
one. for
Don't
that.
do that. Most people don't like. A lot of people don't like that ride, and you would not like it.
Okay.
I've never been on.
Grizzly
I went
River
on that
Run.
one, but I don't need
Is like a rapid rivers kind of big floating tube that falls down
and
where you get
splashes
wet.
and
no,
splashes
no.
and get wet. There are dryers near that one though.
That's hilarious. Haunted Mansion. I definitely want to do
yeah, you
that
definitely
one.
want to do that one if it's
Hyperspace Mountain.
open.
Space
Some
Mountain
people
is
have
a
told me
roller
that
coaster.
it is.
It's
Yeah.
a roller coaster.
Does it drop?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone tried to tell me that the Incredicoaster, I'm guessing, is a roller coaster.
It goes upside down.
I don't know. I've never been upside down, so I don't
It goes
actually...
real fast and real big. It's a big. It's their biggest thrill
Sure.
ride.
Is that
But
the one
like,
that's
I don't-
in...
but it's the dropping that I don't like.
It goes
Okay.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Indiana Jones. I want to do
Yes,
Indiana
which
Jones.
may or may not be open at some point in 2020. It's closing for a refurbishment because it's their 25-year
Yeah, what's
anniversary.
that? Oh. Well, then that helps me know how long ago it was that I went because it was not yet open, but it was
Oh.
under construction when I was
So
there.
more than
so
25
over 25 years. There you go. Now we know.
Yeah.
Matterhorn bobsleds? They're
That's-
bobsleds?
Yeah, they're
But
supposed
you're
to
going to
be.
have drops on that one. That's a roller coaster as well.
Yeah, that's very roller coastery.
Okay.
You wouldn't like that.
Radiator Springs Racers.
You have to...
That's one of my favorites. It does go like this, so you get some of the stomach sensation of falling a little.
But I mean, like
not-
Pirates has a couple too,
Yeah,
and I
it's
did
nothing-
fine on
yeah.
that.
No.
So yeah, it's
That one's
it's
super
just
good.
the like.
And Radiator Springs does single rider.
Okay.
Oh
Totally
yeah,
do
so you
single
could do
rider on
you
that
could
one.
do single rider
Okay.
instead of doing
Roger
Max
Rabbit's
Pass.
cartoon spin. I've been on that one. Soaring around the world.
Is
that is.
like a
I
hang
didn't
glider
do soar-
project. That's one
It
of my
was too busy when I was
favorites.
there. I wanted to.
That's
Splash
so they've
Mountain
got
one,
like
too.
3 different levels, but you go up. There's a big like IMAX
Screen.
kind of screen, and it takes you around the world. You're not dropping, so
Yeah.
I think you would like it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Star Tours. Definitely doing Star Tours.
Oh yeah,
Is Star Tours even there still?
yeah.
What do you mean is it even there
Yes,
still?
they haven't closed any of that stuff down.
Why would it not be there?
Because that's
Toy
where the
Story
original start. Like people
Midway Mania.
Yes, you have to do that.
You would
one.
like that's like shooting.
Oh, fun.
Really at a
fun.
screen.
And then the World of Color. So it sounds like there are several things on here that I would definitely.
Yeah, and if you wanted to get pictures, especially when you go into Galaxy's Edge, like
Yeah.
if you want their photographers to take your picture in front of the Millennium Falcon, like they'll do that. Like they have a photographer.
Buzz
who's
Lightyear,
just-
Astro Blasters. Totally got to do that one.
Yeah.
It's another shooting game.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
But I think you would like the Photo Pass too, because
But that comes with the Max Pass, or is it
yes,
separate
that comes
thing?
with the Max Pass.
Okay.
And then somebody will take your picture. So even if you only got it for one day and we're like, today is my day, I'm going to get Max Passes faster when you can get a new one. So I would set an alarm on my phone if I wanted to ride multiple ones for when I could get my next new one, so that it would remind me like, oh, now you
Wait,
can...
the app doesn't tell you when
It doesn't
it's time for you
automatically
one?
say like, you may now make another selection. You need to keep... It'll tell you what time you can make a new selection. Like, you can choose another one at 2:15. It'll give you that option, but it won't alert you like, now is the... You now have that opportunity. It
Oh,
won't
well,
do
that's
that.
dumb.
Unless it's I mean, they're
Well,
always improving the app.
Except that that's probably strategic. It's probably
I'm
because
sure.
they don't
want
want
people-
They don't want people reusing them. Like,
and it used to be you could
Immediately,
get
sure.
multiples for each ride. Like, so I could go on Big Thunder Mountain, I could get multiple in the day. When we went over the summer, it would only let us reserve it like one time. And then it was like, you've used your Fast Pass for Big Thunder Mountain, no more for you.
Yeah.
Which was disappointing.
Oh.
Yeah, because it used to be that you could like get one for Big Thunder Mountain and like, now there's another one for Big Thunder Mountain in 2 hours. I'm going to take that one too now. And now it's like each day you can only select each Fast Pass one time.
I mean, I guess that makes sense if it's super busy.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's something that changes depending on the busyness, because
Yeah.
we went on a Saturday in the summer versus when you're going
In the middle of the week in the winter.
Yeah.
But that's where you can figure out if you do have something that you want to ride twice, writing it just before you get your Fast Pass.
yeah.
Then you can just
Gotcha.
do
Okay.
it twice in a row.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Any other questions about Fast Passes? I mean, it's nice not to have to walk to go get them, because also if you don't do Max Pass, like you have to go find a location where Phantasmic ones are being handed out, and I would recommend doing that in the morning because they'll run out.
Yeah.
And same thing with World of Color. And
Yeah.
World of Color has different like seatings. They all have, I think, different seating sections. It's been a long time since I've done Phantasmic, and so it'll be like you're in the blue section or whatever.
Okay.
Anyways, better seats go faster earlier on.
Okay. I mean, that makes
That makes
sense.
sense.
Sure.
At least that was true for World of Color. I don't
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so then if you're looking at the same bottom menu, there's Fast Passes, and the next one is Reserve Dining.
Yeah.
So you can book any restaurant reservations up to 60 days in advance at Disneyland.
Right. I just heard about that, and they just added Olga's Cantina to that.
Oh, yes, and you should book that one right away because that one will...
But I can't.
You can still book it.
Can you do it
don't
without a
have to
ticket?
yes, you can book it as long as it's 60 days in advance. They don't know if you have a ticket or not.
Well, I don't know if the app.
No, it doesn't know because you don't have to have something scanned in. So you could make a reservation if it's 60 days in advance of
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
trip,
it shows
then
up. I
yeah.
could do it, yeah.
So I would highly recommend doing that.
Okay.
I also highly recommend the next item, which is order food. So a lot of places have mobile ordering now.
Okay.
And so you can be waiting in line and be like, I want to have lunch soon. And you can make your lunch order while you're waiting. And then it'll give you like I can't remember if it gives you...
It says,
let's
like,
see
for
over there.
example, Alien Pizza Planet says now to 5:10 p.m.
Yeah.
And it says more times.
Yeah, so you can select more times.
So you can select
you
the
can
time that your
select
food
when
would be
you want to
ready.
go.
But then at Disney, at Magic Kingdom, I don't know if it works there.
Yeah.
I did that once, but then once you actually got there, then you said, I'm here.
Yes, so you have to tell it you're there. So you like pick your
So it
window
won't just
time.
be sitting there like getting cold.
No, you tell it like start making it, and it can sense where you are too.
Right.
But it way saves lines. Like I was watching people at place, and sometimes I'd be literally like standing outside and be like, I want it now. And I'd be watching people wait for like 15 minutes, and they'd call like my food was ready. Because I would and we were ordering at the same time, or like
Yeah.
yeah, it's way faster.
Okay.
Or I guess I should say I'm ordering first because I'm not waiting in line. And it gives you all of the menu options, and you will just like here, like that one. You can you have to be logged in, but you can
Yep.
click your food choices and things.
Okay.
It's super easy, and it's super worth it. And more quick order places have been added.
That's what this is called, is quick order.
Yeah, so these are not sit-down restaurants. These are going to be all the places you could walk up to, and then they would have like seating nearby that you could sit at. So you can't
Oh, but okay, sorry, I'm jumping to the side.
Yes.
But so the ones where you would do, so this is, I'm just going to come up, stand in a line, get the food,
Yes.
and then go sit somewhere else and
Yes.
eat.
Yes.
If I wanted to do like the Blue Bayou, that would be where I do the reservation
Yes.
60 days ahead of time,
Yes, exactly.
which I think I want to do because I remember, I still, like,
I've done it once.
have you?
It was kind of fun.
What, only kind of fun?
The food, well, I wasn't overly impressed with the food,
See, I'm not a foodie,
but it was,
so.
yeah.
But I remember, because again, we now have determined over 25 years ago that I was at Disneyland. Which
is crazy!
Right? And I was only there for half a day.
Yeah.
And only went on so have you not heard this, Dawn? So I didn't remember all these pieces until I was talking to my mom. So my cousin got married. And so down in San Diego, we were driving back up to my grandparents' house in San Jose, and we chose to do a day at Disneyland on the way. Well, they had a tire blowout on our way to Disneyland.
Oh, no.
On the van that we were driving. And I remember that. I just didn't remember that was the same trip. And so apparently we didn't get there until about halfway through the day. So we only did a handful of rides. I definitely didn't go to all of Disneyland. Wow. There are parts of Disneyland that I have never even been to at all.
How is this taking so long? I mean, that's the bigger question,
Yeah, that
right?
is really the
Because
bigger
now
question.
there's Star Wars there.
Oh, well, now you have like the you have to go versus it'd be fun to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not cheap and stuff. And now my sister works at Disney. So, there
Yeah.
are a number of things. And I mean,
The stars are all aligned.
they
It's
are
meant to
definitely
be.
all aligned. But Pirates of the Caribbean was one of the rides that I did go on, and
As
I
one
remember
should.
coming out and seeing that restaurant and being like, "Wow, that looks really cool. That would be fun."
That was one of the things that was actually funny about being at Magic Kingdom, because my experience growing up in Southern California and
Yeah.
being on Pirates tons of times
Yeah.
was you come right out and Blue Bayou is there. And so in Magic Kingdom, and I was like, I just don't, like, the whole time I was like, I
It
don't
wasn't
feel
there?
like no, because they don't have it there.
Oh.
And so I was like, I don't feel like I'm actually on Pirates because we didn't start in the Blue Bayou.
That's funny.
So yeah, it was kind of like, oh.
Okay, so apparently food. I definitely need to do
Yes.
stuff with food.
And you can see it right now. You can see all the menus at every single restaurant.
So I
in
could basically
Disneyland.
plan what I want to eat.
I usually
Super
do
ahead of
have
time.
some
You
sense
have
of what
to
I want.
have Dole Whip.
Ooh,
Dole
you do
Whip?
Dole Whip.
Dole Whip.
Where do you get that from?
By the Tiki Room.
Yeah, it's the best stuff.
Between
No,
the
but
Jungle
so
Cruise
what's
and
the
the
thing
Tiki
in-
Room.
can you not get it from
you can,
the app?
You can, yes, you can order it from the app. There is also, they just opened the Tropical Hideaway.
So is that order food or is that reserved dining? Dole Whip.
order food.
Order food. Okay.
And I can't remember if
where-
the Tropical Hideaway now does. So there's two things. So if we look,
Oh, you're looking on the map.
I am looking on the map because I know where it is. So there's the Tiki Juice Bar.
Uh-huh.
So here you can order just a plain Dole Whip or a Dole
Tiki
Whip.
Juice
that's-
Bar, it's on here.
So you can order a Dole Whip. Here we can say.
Oh, you can go to the order food from the map.
You can order from.
Oh,
the map,
that's
too.
nice.
And you could get
You
a
can
Dole
see,
Whip,
like,
or
what's
you can
nearby.
get. So
Yeah.
it's like a soft serve pineapple flavored soft serve like
Ice cream.
but it's more like a sorbet than really an ice cream.
But it's almost a mix of a sorbet
kind
and
of
ice cream.
yeah, it's kind of in between the two.
How strong of a pineapple?
I'm not a
flavor?
huge pineapple person, and I like it.
Okay.
If you're worried about that, so that's the Tiki Juice Bar, but around
Yeah.
the corner, in between the Tiki Room and the Jungle Cruise, is the Tropical Hideaway. This is a newer space
Which
that
is
they
not
opened.
listed on
It's not. You
here.
can't quick order from them, but it's usually
Okay.
not a very long line.
Okay.
And they have multiple flavors of Dole Whip, as well
Oh.
as other they have bao,
What?
vegetable bao and chicken bao.
Oh, fancy.
So they have dessert like a sweet lumpia.
a Dole Whip float.
So you
is
can
that
get
different?
Dole Whip float, which is like it in
Like
pineapple juice. I feel like that's a bit much for me. If you're not
And
a
I
big,
love pineapple,
if you're
so
a
I
big
would-
pineapple person,
okay.
go for it.
I'm not.
But like the pineapple orange swirl or the pineapple
I like the
raspberry
raspberry
swirl.
one.
Ooh, that would be
That
good.
one's really good because then you get a
Okay.
little bit of pineapple, but it's
But
broken up with another
yeah,
flavor.
yeah.
Such good stuff. They have it at the fair, at the Puyallup Fair.
Yeah, they have it.
Oh, it's
and
not a
Menchie
Disneyland
sometimes
specific
has
thing.
a
No,
Dole,
but But Disneyland's known for it. Like
and
that's
Okay.
It's better at Disneyland because
Okay.
you're eating it at Disneyland. And if you go into this
need
one, if you go
to
into the Tropical Hideaway,
start a
there
new
is one of
list
the
of-
birds from
you're recording it. You can go back
from
and
the there's one of the birds from that they talk about in the Tiki Room is on the side, and Rosa is over there.
Okay.
They
I've never been.
They
in
allude to her in the
Tiki
Tiki Room. Where's Rosa?
in the tiki.
I've heard the song, but I've never been like literally so many Disneyland
So many
things
things
I've
you
never
haven't
done.
Okay.
Never done.
Okay, so if you're looking on the map too, at the top, you can switch from attractions. You can see all the events that are happening in the day.
What's event? What
Like
does
a
that mean?
parade, or
Oh, okay.
like the
We've got
Disneyland
that.
Band is
Appearances,
coming
or
to play, or the Dapper Dans, which are like a quartet that sings. Any of those things will be listed there.
Characters, dining, entertainment, restrooms. That's an important one.
Yes.
Events and tours.
Oh yeah,
do
you could book a
tours?
tour,
Like
so you
what
could
kind
see
of
like
tours?
walking in Walt's footsteps and like sorts of things that'll take you like into his old apartment,
Oh,
things like that.
gotcha.
They'll take you around, they'll get you onto rides, and you'll pay a lot of money for
Oh
your tour.
wow, the map has a big giant icon just for the Rise of the Resistance ride.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
I'm super excited.
Have you watched any of the videos of the one in Disney World yet?
Yeah.
Okay, me too.
I mean, just a little bit. They didn't show lots of things,
Yeah.
but
pretty
here's PhotoPass. Oh, that means this is
That's
places
where
they'll
there's a
take your picture.
photographer is.
Oh, there's 3 in
currently-
Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, yeah. There's one.
Garrison. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. I'm looking. Yeah, so there's one
then
in
the
front of the
Millennium
A-Wing,
Falcon.
X-Wing. There's one there. I think I've gotten one. And there's one.
Yep.
The Millennium Falcon, and then there's one.
That's the Garrison.
Oh yeah, this is outside.
Oh, is that like a bunch of soldiers? Like a
And you're-
garrison of stormtroopers
What's
or
that?
something?
There's some ship there. So, and this is the reason you have to get a photo pass, at least for one day. So, like in ours picture here over in the garrison, they can add, they can do like, what are they called? Magic pictures. I don't remember what they're called right now. And
Oh, I
they'll
think I've
add
heard of
extra
those.
things to them. So
Like
in ours,
digitally.
yes, in the background of one of ours, we have a bunch of like
TIE
Star
fighters.
Wars, I think they're TIE fighters, like coming in the background in the sky.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
they'll add a lot of stuff. And if they don't, you can ask them to. So you can say, like, I've heard there's extra things you can add. So you can ask your photographer, say, like, can you do that for me? And they can
okay.
do that for you. So especially when you're in Galaxy's Edge, you might want to ask your photographer,
Gotcha.
your PhotoPass photographer to do that.
Well, and I mean, I'm definitely going to get like blue milk. I have to get blue milk.
Yes.
It's from Star Wars.
Yes. You want to get green milk.
I could also get green milk if I wanted
People
to.
had very strong opinions about which one was better.
Oh, well, maybe I'll have to try both then.
Yeah, it's a thing. Are you going to make a lightsaber
I don't know.
or a droid?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
The droid, I can't speak to the lightsabers because you couldn't go in there
Right.
unless you had a reservation.
I'm at least going to go into the droid depot and look at it.
It looked really fun.
I know. I don't need it. Well, I don't need anything.
No.
But we'll see. I don't know yet because
Okay.
I don't know how expensive it is to make the droids, but I know it's like
It's less expensive than it is to make a lightsaber.
and the lightsabers are I think like $200 or something.
something
like
like that.
yeah, 150, $200. But you get your own Kyber crystal.
You can also buy a Kyber crystal.
Just a Kyber crystal?
Yes. Oh. But you can also buy separate, so you can also make one and buy separate Kyber crystals. So you can
put
have
other
different
Kyber
color.
crystals
That's
into
what
your-
I've heard. And there is a shop where you can go in Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities. I think they
Okay.
sell a lot of that stuff. But you couldn't go in and have like the experience.
I know. That's
would
what
be-
I've heard. I've heard you're paying for the experience.
Yeah.
What's this island?
What's what? Oh,
Oh,
the
that's
island,
Tom Sawyer's Island.
which is now not Tom
Not Tom
Sawyer's.
Sawyer's.
It's now Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer's Island.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I haven't been out there in ages.
Me neither.
Oh, you can actually go out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you take
can
a
like
little-
run around and
Very. Okay, anyway, I derailed us. What else are you
Yes.
telling me about?
no, just that you need just more reasons you need a photo pass. Oh,
Okay,
and that you
photo
can
pass.
see, and so all this is just shows you where everything is. It shows you
Yep.
where all the shops are, where all the hotel, everything is.
Oh, they'll even show you the hotels, huh?
Oh yeah,
Now, okay, so you mentioned like getting maybe doing one of the nights so that I could stay later, just staying in a
Yes.
hotel nearby.
yes.
I'm guessing not one of the Disneyland ones because they're not cheap, right?
No. I mean, Paradise Pier can sometimes have some pretty good prices. And
Because do you get fancy things for staying in a hotel?
if you
Or does
are
it depend?
booked for how you get early entrance, you get magic.
The magic hours?
Magic. So there's I
But
can't
you
remember
get that with the Max Pass, it looks like, too.
If
Oh,
you
yeah,
have,
I've read
if you
about
have
some
a
of that.
certain number of days, you get one early entrance into a theme park. If you're staying at a Disney hotel, you get one every day to one of the parks. So you either get an early entrance in, depending on the day. It's like Tuesdays and Thursdays
Right,
and Saturdays, or
right.
Mondays and or one
Right.
and
I'll bet
the
Kate
other.
knows more about that. I bet she can explain that.
I bet she can too. I like to go to the park that's the opposite of whatever the Magic Morning is
Yeah.
and get there early, because I find everybody who's there early is there early to go into the other park.
Yep.
And so if you go into the opposite of what everybody else is doing,
I've heard that too, yeah.
that you don't end up waiting as long
In the morning.
in the morning. And morning, like everything that you get done before 10 that's like the best time to get everything done, because starting around 10 it is when people have gotten up and they've parked and they're there.
Yeah. So the challenge for me, of course, is I'm going to drive in with my sister, and
Yes.
I don't know what time she gets to work.
Yes.
Probably before 10.
I would imagine.
But you would have, but that's where, if you spend the night one night, you
you
can
could
do
get up
late
early.
and do early the next morning.
That's true.
It'll be a killer day, but...
And then you can do rope drop, which is
I've
early in
heard
the
of
morning
that.
where they let you into the park, but you can like only get in like
I
past
did that at
Main
Magic
Street.
Kingdom. So I was like sitting in the middle, and then I was there when the characters all come out from the castle, and they're like, "We're gonna start, welcome to Disneyland. We're gonna count down to opening Disneyland," and then
It's pretty fun.
the characters count it down, and then
And
everybody rushes off to the rides. I rushed off to
Yes.
Space Mountain.
And even when you're there, like the cast members were all wearing Mickey gloves and like clapping for us like while we walk down Main Street. It's a thing.
I can tell. I'm sure it's a thing. I don't
There
know
was
if it's a
somebody
thing
having
that
a
I
wedding
care
there
about.
when I was there.
It makes me tear up every time. But that's
But it
just
is nice to be able to like,
go where you want to go.
and then you basically get out and you're at the
and
beginning.
you walk on, like we walked on.
Yeah, you
the
walk
morning
on
we
the
did that.
first
We
ride.
walked on to like 3 or 4 rides that morning. Like got off one, walked on to the next one, and this was like in the summertime. This is in July.
Yeah.
When it's like crazy busy. So,
Yeah, so like if you did that and headed out to the Star Wars
Galaxy's
stuff
Edge. Yeah.
and did the first ride and then the second ride, you'd probably have a lot shorter wait time than any of the
and
rest
you'll
of the
have
Yeah.
to watch and see what they do with Rise of Resistance, because they've been doing boarding groups in Disney World.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing.
Where you have to be there early in the morning and you have to be in the theme park before a certain and you have to reserve a time slot.
Well,
for the
they did
ride.
that with the Millennium Falcon ride when it started.
They did that with the whole land when it first started.
Oh,
With
that's
all
what it
to
was.
even
That's
just
what
get
it was.
into Galaxy's Edge. But
So
that's,
how do they do board? Like, how do you get those? Is that again through the
it's
app, or do you have to
through the-
physically go
no,
there?
It's through the app, and you again go in. And so when we went, there was the potential for boarding groups. We never needed one, but on the
they-
home page, it would have a spot that would say like this one says apply the cost of your ticket to an annual pass. Like there was a thing that was Galaxy's Edge, and it
Yeah.
would say like currently doesn't need a boarding group.
Yeah, like this one says that's for Disney World. So,
So-
access by boarding group.
And so then you click find out more, and you click on it, and then you can join a boarding group if there was time, or you could see what your status was. And you could join a boarding group from there.
Okay.
So potentially they'll be instating that, and at that point you would need to be at the theme park early, because people were saying at Disney World that by like 8 or 9 there were no more
8 or 9. What time does
in
it
the
open?
morning. When it was opening at like 8.
So by 8, when it opens at 8, they were gone.
They were pretty quickly gone in the morning. All I remember is thinking like they were, before the park had even been open an hour, boarding groups were gone. And the people who were getting them closer to the end time were getting boarding groups at like the very end of the day.
Gotcha.
So something just to consider, because you'll be there closer to when it opens.
Yeah, I
because
will.
It opens in a few weeks.
I know.
So just something to consider. That might be a reason that you'd want to stay by, is if that's something they end up doing.
Okay.
Those are the big tips about PhotoPass, about restaurants. Do you know what kinds of food you're wanting to eat while you're there?
I mean, no. Like, I don't even know what the options are. Like, I can tell you things that I'm aware of the Blue Bayou because I saw it before.
Yeah.
I had not heard of Dole Whip, so apparently that's a thing. I know the Blue Milk. I knew Olga's Cantina, which I feel like I want to go in Olga's Cantina just because I want to see it because I've heard that the inside is very cool. I don't drink.
You can get blue milk there.
Can you get blue milk there?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
You can look on the menu and double check. And they have like a snack mix.
Oh, okay. So, because I don't know that I necessarily need to go get a drink there, but I've heard that the ambiance is really cool.
And in the morning, they have different food than they do later in the day.
Are you looking at the menu?
I'm about to look at the menu. If I remember correctly, when there's when you look at the different menus, they'll have different time slots because some of them have different. Like, obviously, if you're open for breakfast, your breakfast food is going to be different probably than what you have. Like, I don't think anywhere really sells breakfast all day. Sorry. You can't get a Mickey Mouse pancake at...
Oh, they have lunch, they have a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner at Olga's, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, but these are probably drinks. A Bloody Rancor. Pretty sure that's a drink.
Oh, yeah.
What, do you just bring snacks in? Is that all you tend to bring in? Or do you
No.
also bring, like, sandwiches for lunch in the middle of the day? Or, like, how do you think and plan through food?
For me, usually, because we would often stay close by, and so then we would eat breakfast at the hotel. If we were going to go back to our hotel, we would often have like lunch food there.
That you would have gone to a grocery store,
gone to a
lunch
store
meat
and
or
like
something.
packed, something really easy because it just gets expensive to eat
Right.
everything there all the
Yep.
time. And then we would
Yep.
eat we'd have reservations for dinner there.
Yeah.
That we would make early.
And then, Dawn, you're nodding. What?
Well, food is expensive, but I didn't eat. So I typically ate at my hotel.
For breakfast?
Yeah, but again, I was nearby, so it wasn't too far. Or like just grab something from my hotel for breakfast, like a granola bars or something like that. And then my big thing was trying to get. I usually bought a bottle of water not long after I got into the park.
Mm-hmm. Can you bring bottles of water in now?
Yes, you can, and they'll refill water, so you can get water for free at any quick service place, and you can use that to fill up your water bottle. So that's what we would often do: is we'd bring in a reusable water bottle, and then just refill it throughout the day, so we weren't paying for water.
And there's drinking fountains too that you can refill, but
yes,
the water's better from the.
So you just walk up with your water bottle and ask them
No,
to fill
you
it?
just
they
ask
have to
them
give
for
you
water.
and they'll give you like a cup of water.
Oh, okay.
Or water with ice, and then you pour it in.
Gotcha.
And then I usually got lunch later, like around 1 or 2, just because it seemed to be a little less busy.
Yeah. But you would eat in the park typically? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But I also wasn't there for multiple days,
Sure.
so.
And I really don't know what it looks like because this is
And I did snack too. Like I think when I went to Magic Kingdom, like at 11 or something like that, I grabbed a pretzel and a bottle of water and like filled up a water bottle. And then I went and stood in line for something, and so ate my pretzel and drank the water while I was standing in line. And I only sat down for. I think around 3 o'clock was when I had I did tacos, and so I sat down and I ate tacos. But then I don't think I really did a lot of food the rest of the day. Like I think I did a Dole Whip later on in the afternoon. But my eating habit was also very my eating times were very different because I was trying to spread it out and not do 3 meals.
Yeah.
So, and if you could take snacks, right? Like if you could take some nuts or things
granola
with
bars,
protein.
things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we would often try to plan like a snack like you're saying when we were going in to see some sort of show. There's a cute, at the Royal Theater, they do a Beauty and the Beast and a Tangled at different times show that has 2 people that act out as the storytellers, and then they usually, the one has just Belle, and the one has, I think it has Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, maybe. I can't remember if that's right. But then they fill in the other parts. It's cute, but it's half an hour, so we would sit on the benches in the shade and be like, we're going to eat our snacks. Well, people do things. So we would try to time our snacks around that. Or Mickey and the Magical Map, which is super cute, and you should totally see. It's kind of more over by Toontown and Small World.
Oh,
There's a big theater under there, and it's in the shade or away from rain, depending on what's happening with the weather. And you can either order food there's a food place kind of near it that you could get food, or it's a nice place to sit but also feel like you're getting the most bang for your buck because you can be watching a show while you sit for like half an hour.
Gotcha.
And eat.
I tried to do that too. So because of my feet and problems, I find, because like I was at Universal on Tuesday, and I walked more on Tuesday, and I walked less on Monday, but I did a lot more standing, and that was much harder on my body than the walking.
Yeah.
And so I usually, once I got into the afternoon, tried to find things where I could sit for a little while, like trying to find shows or rides where I know I'm going to be sitting for a period. Like Pirates is a good one because it takes a little while to go through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 12 minutes or something.
Yeah. And so it's like, even just having those breaks was like, oh, not standing on my feet
Yeah.
for 12 minutes is amazing.
Yeah.
I agree with that. You definitely
Or a
need time for
parade or something like that. Like I watched one of the parades in the middle of the day and just sat on the ground. But it was just like, oh, I get to sit down.
Ooh, and I highly recommend if you want to see one of the parades, if you're over at Small World, which will probably be closed when
Yeah,
you're
you said
there
that,
because
yeah.
they'll be switching from their holiday overlay. But they have over here on the side, they have like benches, so you can actually like sit down out there and like sit. So that was another good
Sit down
time
and
to get.
but do what?
Sit and wait for the parade and watch the parade from
What
there.
parade?
And actually, so there. If
Whatever
we
the
look
parades
under
are.
events and activities, you can see whatever the parades are for the day.
Oh, that's where all the parades happen?
Yeah, so you can see, like, if I just click on it, it will just show me like where they are. But if you click over in the corner of the app, it says show list, and it will show you all of the different events that are happening that day. I think it's event activities, but and there may or may not be a parade. I'm trying to remember. There's a new parade that's coming, and I can't remember when it starts. But like a parade that has like floats, that has like Disney characters on it, and dancers and music and stuff. That's a good spot to watch if there are parades.
And that's where you
there.
like grab food and sit and watch. So you're eating.
Yeah.
So you can have like a churro. Their churros are pretty good.
Ooh, a
Churros
churro
are
would be
pretty
good.
Yeah.
Their pretzels aren't bad. They're in the shape of Mickey Mouse.
Mickey
course.
bars, ice cream with like
Ice
chocolate
cream is
covered.
good, yeah.
In the shape of
In the
Mickey
shape of
Mouse.
Mickey.
Uh-huh.
Trying to think of what other Disney foods you would need. They have a lot of dessert things. I mean, if you go into
Terrible because I love desserts.
I know. You will have lots of opportunities to eat them. So in the very back corner by Pooh Corner, it's called. I mean, there's a place called Pooh Corner, and they have a ton. You can actually sometimes see people making things, and that's outside the Winnie the Pooh ride, which is not too far away from one of the entrances to Galaxy's Edge.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
If we went that way, they have a lot of desserts there. Or there's a confectionery on.
Oh, there's 3 different
Main
entrances
Street.
to Galaxy's Edge?
There's only 2, right?
I'm seeing 3.
There's 2. Or are you seeing a third one?
I see one over here.
Oh yes.
I see one here, and I see one here.
Yes. I'm trying to remember if they were all... Because when it originally opened, you could only get in one. They were funneling everyone in here
Okay.
and then
then out the other
out
way.
there. You may
Oh.
find that you'll end up going in... Like, because this is where the Rise of the Resistance is, I'm sure that will impact where you can get in and what that will look like. Because there's not a ton of room over here. Like, you walk in and there's a path, but there's not a ton of room outside of the ride. And I think, they've done a good job of building a queue that will hold a lot of people, I'm sure,
Right.
outside of it. But I'm sure that area will be more congested. There are, like, depending on the area you are in, though, you may be more likely to see different characters.
Right, because there's a resistance side and
Right.
there's
So
a first order
this is
side.
the resistance side, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
That's where we saw Chewie.
Okay.
And then, but Rey was like walking around because she was like fighting against the stormtroopers throughout and gathering a following of young girls and teaching them how to use the Force,
Which is cool.
which was amazing.
Okay. I feel like there was something else that we had started to talk about that
Food?
We've been talking about food.
I know,
I mean
we have.
before we started recording.
So Magic Happens Parade is coming in 61 days.
February 28th.
That'll be after I'm there.
After there, so there might not be.
Mulan's Lunar New Year procession coming January 17th.
That's also the day that the Rise of the Resistance ride
Oh
opens.
yes, it is. They must be trying to pull people because I think that's in California Adventure. They do a bunch of stuff for Lunar New Year.
That's cool though.
Oh yeah, California Adventure.
I'm trying to think. We were talking before.
Something else.
Max Pass, Fast Pass. You need the app.
Oh, so you were telling me, because so Dawn and I, when we were driving down here,
Yes.
we were talking about how I'm actually very intimidated by the idea of going to Disneyland.
Oh, yes.
Because I know that there's so much information. So you got to do this thing, and then you got to do that thing, and you got to plan this, and you got to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, all of these pieces, and
Yes.
because I'm a tortured perfectionist, I feel like I have to
that.
do Disneyland correctly.
Oh, I feel you. Yes.
Right? And
yes.
so
Mhm.
there's a sense that I need to have every single minute planned out to maximize my time and to do all the right things so I don't have to stand in line. But I do not want to spend the time to do that.
Yeah.
And Dawn was like, I think there might be an app that'll like do that for you. It was like, I'll bet Ingrid would know.
I do.
Yeah,
So
see?
there's at least one that I know of called Touring Plans, and they have them for various parks. So you would want to look at the one for Disneyland, which is the first one that shows up when you search
Now this is not
not
through
owned by
Disneyland.
Disney, not through Disney. These are people who are also, at some point somebody saw that they could monetize basically people like you and me who have the need to know all the things.
Yep.
And so they've done a bunch of research about time and have people who are constantly waiting in line and clocking times and all the things, so that they can say like, this is the best day to go. And then when you're there, they can tell you what order to do things in. So
Right.
I've used it before.
But you have to pay for it.
You pay for it, and you can either pay, you'd have to look it up now. Several years ago, it was like you could pay for like a week, or you could pay for like a whole year.
Well, at the very top of their website, it says subscribe now, one full year for only $7.95.
Yeah, it's not that expensive. And then you can plug in like, I want to do these things, like these 10 rides are really important to me. And it will say like, and you say, I'm there from this point to this point. You can add in breaks. You can add in any of the
Food.
things you want. And it'll say like, go in at 7 o'clock or... That's in the summertime when it opens really early.
Sure.
You know, at this time, go,
Sure.
at 9:15, get in line for this ride, and then you should be done around this time, and then go on this ride. And it will list the times that you need to do various things and the order you need to hit them in. So the only disadvantage of something like that is if you're someone who doesn't want to walk all over the park. Because it may be like, you should ride Pirates of the Caribbean, which is in, like, Adventureland, New Orleans Square kind of area, to the left, if you're walking into the left side of the park, and then it may say like, and next you should do Buzz Lightyear to the right side. So it can have you walking all over the park. So that's the only disadvantage.
Does it take into account how long it takes
Yes.
for you to get from one place to the other? So it
does.
still would be the most efficient
So it still
use
gives
of
you
time.
the most efficient thing. Just for people who are like, I don't want to be walking for forever. And I feel like it can even take into account some of those things.
Well, and I kind of, like, for me, I feel like there's going to be, like, this learning curve of, because you both have been to Disneyland enough times. You know where things are. You know what things you want to do, what things you don't want to do.
Yes.
You've done all of the things before, so
Yes.
it's choosing which things to go to. Most of it I've never done before.
Yes.
I don't know where things are.
Yes.
So I think initially having a plan that tells me go here, do this, do that, do that, do that, I may actually enjoy that more, even if it means I'm walking all around, because then I'm
Yes.
seeing more, I'm getting an idea of the lay of the land.
Yes.
But let's just say hypothetically that I'm in the park for 4 days.
Yeah.
By the third or fourth day, I may not want that anymore, and I may want to just kind of walk around and just be more leisure and just like see what things are there, and then just pop in here or pop in there or something like that.
Because I think you'll also walk by places and be like, oh man, there was that cool shop I wanted to walk into, like, or whatever.
Well, and I'm definitely, and I guess I'm gonna have to decide how to do that. But with Galaxy's Edge, like, I don't want to put any time limits on myself, because
Yeah.
I think I will want to go into every shop and look
yeah.
at all of the things and spend way too much money and get all of the pictures.
Well,
and
you can adjust that thing. You can adjust it in the park. Like while you're there, you could say
You could
like,
change it up.
so it's an app.
It's an app. You can buy it online, but it is also an app that you can do things through.
And that's the one that you would recommend is Touring
That's the one
Plans?
I have done before. So I can't speak to what other ones are. I think there's
Okay.
more than one company that does it.
I would guess so.
But I have experience with Touring Plans, and I
Okay.
was happy with how it worked when we went.
Okay.
Like, that was about 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But I was really happy and felt like they were able to help us maximize our time so we weren't waiting in line. Because when I went, again, it was summertime and it was crazy and it was busy. And you may find some of that just with Galaxy's Edge being like,
Well, the Rise of
with the Rise of the
Resistance
Resistance
will
being
have-
new,
yeah.
that Galaxy's Edge may be busier because more
Yep.
people may be trying to make their
Oh,
way in
I'm
there.
sure
I'm sure
that will be the case.
but depends on too how it fits in with annual pass holder like blockout dates and all that stuff. And they know all that stuff. Like they
Right.
know that when they calculate things.
oh, the touring plan.
the touring plans people
Okay.
are like taking in all the data and have these,
Right.
they're like mathematicians. A lot
Sounds like
of them.
for $8, it's totally worth it.
I think it's really worth it if you're wanting to maximize your time, and
Yeah.
if you're somebody who likes to have a plan, which we are.
Yeah.
Then it's useful.
Well, and especially since, I mean, if it turns out that different people will be joining me, which may
Yeah.
happen, and if they already know it and they just want to take me around,
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that too. But it's the idea that I, by myself in Disneyland, we're going to have to figure it all
No.
out, like on the fly. I'm like, no. That's
No.
going to take all the fun out of it for me because I will feel like I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think you'll have to be able to input and say, these are the things I want to do.
Sure.
So doing some sort of research or having some sort of knowledge uphand, or
Which,
beforehand.
what was you mentioned a podcast
So-
that does an overview of all the rides.
Yes. So I was looking back. So there is a podcast called DL Weekly Podcast.
DL for Disneyland.
DL for Disneyland. And they're like on episode 111 right now. But they early on did like every week they would do a section of each one of the parks. And
Okay.
then at one point for their break, they compiled all of it into one giant long episode that goes through both of the parks so that you can listen to the whole thing. I'll see if I can find out which one it is. But that would be a good one to listen to. The only thing you have to consider is that Bugs Land is closed. But otherwise, and there's some new things that have opened in on Pixar Pier since they did that in California Adventure.
Okay. I guess that's the other thing. I know even less about California Adventure, but
Yeah, I only have been there once.
And I don't think you'll want to spend as much time there. Like Pixar Pier, I mean, so when Disney California Adventure was originally created, it was supposed to be like, here's the California, almost like a California version of Epcot, and like, here's all the mini things of California that you can see. Like, in California, we have a boardwalk. Here we have a boardwalk for you too. Here you can feel like there's like Fisherman's Wharf. Here's that for you. Like, it was supposed to feel like all those pieces, and then none of it was successful. So slowly they've been like tearing sections away or changing them to make them cooler. I don't think there's as much. Cars Land is super cool, and if you can be there when it switches to nighttime, then all the neon comes on and they play the old like 50s diner song.
but only when it turns on.
Only when it turns on. So if you were there around
Dusk.
then that's a fun time to be in Cars Land.
I love the cars. Right?
That is probably my personal favorite section of all. There's going to be a ton of construction because they're trying to get ready for the Marvel Land section that will be going up
Okay.
this summer. And then like the pier has, like you're not going to, I mean, the
not gonna
Ferris
ride the
wheel's
roller
fun
coaster.
because you can see out. Just make sure you get in the line of the non-swinging ones. I'm going to tell you this right now.
I'm sorry, wait, what are we talking about?
There's a Ferris
Ferris
wheel in California Adventure.
Oh, I've seen
There are
pictures of-
2 lines for it. Make sure you get in the correct one. One is just a standard Ferris wheel ride. The other one, the cages that you're sitting in are on loops and they move and drop and they have barf bags inside of them because they're so horrible. And I know people who have accidentally, they're very well marked. Like when you look up, it is like, this is the swinging side, this is the non-swinging side. But if you didn't know you were looking for it,
Which I would not.
which you would not, you could get in the wrong side and you could really be regretting your choices.
yeah, I would.
So if you decide to go on that, make sure you go on the non-swinging side.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's not, I mean, and that's where Toy Story Mania is, which I think you would enjoy.
fun.
And there's
And then the Soaring California.
Soaring Over California is there. That's fun.
But those are really the 3.
Yeah, big ones.
You have there's not a Pooh, but there's a something else. I did Goofy Sky School just because I like Goofy, but
And you would not like
would
that
not
one.
like it.
There's the new,
there a princess one or something. There's something that's right when you come in. There's one that's off to the side.
Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid. That's
The
what
Little
it
Mermaid
is.
is fun to ride. Don't wait for more than 5 minutes for it because it's really crazy when there's more than a 5-minute line because it has such a quick turnaround on that ride that it's not worth waiting for a super long time. There's now the Emotional Whirlwind, which is Inside Out, which is just like just go in a circle, like just not very, I don't know. There's Bongo. Is that the guy? Bongo's Sweet Shop. So there's like a candy place.
Hmm.
And there's the Pixar, there's a restaurant there on the pier that has like, that's Pixar themed. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
I mean, it is fun to see like the theme stuff, right? But
And they have beignets. This is what we have not talked about. You know that Disneyland has beignets that are Mickey shaped.
That are Mickey shaped.
So,
of course they
yes.
do.
And so I'm trying to remember if the ones at Pixar Pier, I don't think those ones are, but the ones in Disneyland you can buy either at the
over by the
New Orleans
haunted
Square,
mansion, not far
or
from
there's
there.
a little place. There's the mint julep
The mint julep. That's what we used to
bar,
always
and you
get.
can get mint juleps. They don't have alcohol
I don't
in
know
them.
what that is.
It's like a minty.
My mom always loved. We always have to go get the mint juleps.
They're pretty good.
And the beignets.
And they have seasonal beignets depending on when you go. You have to request. You can either have the regular ones, which are dipped in powdered sugar, and they're the messiest thing ever. If you get them, if you sit down and either like got reservations to or chose to like walk up and try to get into New Orleans Cafe, they have beignets and they also have dipping sauces.
You actually might be able to get the beignets at Blue Bayou,
Oh yeah,
That would make sense.
depending
Yeah.
on what time you're
yeah.
there.
And you can look at their menu and see if they have
But I
them for
think I
dessert
would
too.
guess that they.
In between 88 and 89 on Disneyland Weekly is the Tour of California Adventure.
Okay.
And I'm looking
Between 88 and 89?
It's like an unnumbered episode because it's not a new episode. It's just
Oh,
repeat
it's a
from
vault.
previous. It's a vault because it's previous.
I see.
And if there's anything specifically you wanted to know about, they have. You can see by their themes.
They got a
that
lot of,
have.
yeah, they have a lot of Star Wars ones I'm seeing.
Yes, and they have a lot of things about like specific rides. So when they tour the parks too, they give some of a little bit of history and things about different areas in Disneyland.
Okay. What else do I need to know? Are we good? Have you imparted your wisdom?
No, there's so much more you need to know. We talked about single rider a little bit. So
But not all rides have single rider lines.
No, and
my
I-
other question
it
is
has-
how do you like? Are there clear signs?
no,
No, you have to ask.
you have to ask.
Who do you
them-
ask?
A cast member.
There's
Are
usually
there
somebody
always
standing
people
at the
out?
end. Yeah, because of the fast passes.
Yeah.
They have somebody standing there checking fast passes to make sure that they're like that you actually have a fast pass.
Because there is a separate fast pass line.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a fast pass return line, so you're not waiting in the same line as everybody else.
Return line.
Yeah, it's clearly marked.
Okay.
And
So
it-
there's a person there, so
Yes.
I could ask them.
And
So-
you would just ask, and usually they put you in the fast pass line.
Because you are going to be scanned, no matter what, everything is through the app now because they're trying to get rid of paper. So whether you end up doing, quote unquote, paper fast passes or you end up doing max passes, you will do it through scanning your phone ticket.
Because all
into-
tickets are on your phone now.
No, or your regular ticket. No, but you'll need the app to do it because I think they were saying they basically don't do printouts anymore. You will scan your ticket into this little machine, right? And then it will give you a time on your thing of when to show back up.
Wait,
And
for single rider, or are we back to?
no,
for
we're
fast
sorry, we're back
pass.
to fast passes.
Okay, thank you.
And then you will scan for fast passes. You will scan at the machine. There's machines outside
But
the
I thought you
fast
said
pass
that you don't
line.
have to do that if you do the app.
Scan.
You still have
You
to
still
scan.
have to scan to say like I'm here and I'm showing up.
Okay.
And
To
it will-
verify that you actually have a fast pass for that time slot. Because otherwise you could just get in the line and be like, oh, I have a fast pass.
And wait, I'm sorry. So you show up,
There's a fast pass return line.
but I thought you said there was a cast member there checking.
There is a cast member there. It used to be that they would check, you would hand them your paper fast pass and they'd look at it and go like, yes, we see that. Now there's these little machines.
So if the
And you
machine
just stick your phone
is
under.
red, so when you scan it, if you actually have a valid fast pass, it turns green.
It goes,
Okay.
"Bleh," it plays
If
a happy
not,
sound.
then it's red. And so that's when the cast member will say, like, you have to wait 10 more minutes before, or like, your fast pass. Like I actually, when I was getting in Haunted Mansion, somebody was scanning it. She's like, your fast pass expired 2 hours ago, and the one was like, "But I still have it." She's like, "No, you can't go through because it expired. I'm sorry." So that's what they're there for. So you could ask one of them
Gotcha.
and say, "Do you have a single rider line?" And
Gotcha.
normally they'll send you through the fast pass line.
And sometimes, like, we had where a ride shut down that we had a fast pass for, and suddenly my phone was notifying me, like, you can get a fast pass for any of these rides. And it was like decided what the equivalents were,
Oh,
and I
interesting.
could get one immediately for one of those places because that ride was no longer shut. So
Because
or it was
you-
no longer open because it had closed down.
But that was because you had a fast pass for that one, or because you were in
Yes.
line for that one?
I had a fast pass for that one,
Okay.
and it shut down
Okay,
for some reason.
gotcha.
Yeah. So it's helpful to have.
Okay,
I mean,
but
it's-
some rides have single rider lines.
some rides have
rides
single.
do
And
not.
if you looked it up online, I don't have it off the
That's
top
what
of
I
my
was
head.
just going to look. So, a single rider, the cast member can direct you to the designated queue where your party will be separated to fill remaining space. So that's one thing. Sometimes people in groups will go through single rider, and just with the understanding that then they get split up, so they cannot sit together.
Yeah.
So immediate boarding or choice of seat is not guaranteed. So you can't be like, I want to be in the front. So if you really want to be in the front of something, you're going to have to stand through the normal line.
Yeah, but that's mostly roller coasters.
Well, depending
Right?
though, I mean, I think somebody did single rider with us on when we were in Galaxy's Edge on the Millennium Falcon on Smuggler's Run.
Yeah.
Somebody did single rider.
Sure.
And then she got same thing, like she got what she got as far as you get a coin.
You get a different,
or a piece
roll
of paper
or
that gets
whatever,
a roll on
Yeah.
it.
Because I did that. So I did single rider with Hagrid's roller coaster in Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. And when I was a single rider, it's just two people, and one person gets to be on the bike, and one person has to be in the sidecar. Well, the bike is way more exciting because you're sitting up high. Mm-hmm. So the people that were in the normal line, whenever they got paired with somebody, they always put the person in the normal line first so that they would be on the bike. Mm-hmm. And then the single rider was always in the car. So like the second time I went through, I actually was in the normal rider ride because I wanted to be on the bike. And so
Gotcha.
the person that was, I was like, you better make sure you get behind me because I want to be on the bike. But I ended up getting in, I ended up being on the front of that one, which was fun.
But Disneyland, there's not really a bad seat for
Yeah.
anything. So
No.
I wouldn't say that you're ever going to be in a place where you're like, oh, bummer, I really wanted this cool seat. And I'm
Yeah.
not
So
getting it.
Indiana Jones has a single rider.
Okay. Now, are you on a Disneyland thing, or you just did a Google search?
I'll send you the link to this.
No, but is it Disneyland itself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
On Disneyland's website.
Okay.
Yeah. Grizzly River Run, Hyperspace Mountain, Incredicoaster, Indiana Jones, Matterhorn, Millennium Falcon has
Okay.
a single rider, so you're going to want to take advantage of that.
Okay.
Definitely.
Radiator Springs Racers does, which is great. Splash Mountain and Star Tours.
Oh, Star Tours. Great.
So
So.
basically Star Wars themed things.
Woohoo!
That may be your...
Which
Because they do want it, cause especially like on, because you only have 6 people on Smuggler's Run.
Yeah.
6
So they
people,
wanna
right?
fill in those
they want to
spots.
fill in those places. So
Sure.
the hard thing is you may not want to go in that line because you'll move more quickly through, and you may want more time depending on the line in the queue. You may want to just like wait in the queue.
To see
that's-
the
'cause you
scenery and all the cool
bypass
stuff.
a lot of the stuff.
And because if you want, there's a game you can play in line in the queue that takes you like count how many of these there are for like some special job. That
I
you
did
can
that
get
one with the
assigned.
Peter Pan one. Did you do that where they had the different? You go through the Peter Pan line, and they have like an anchor, and they're like
yeah.
hidden along the walls of the ride.
See, that's such a smart idea.
It is really smart.
I think I heard about that like a year or two ago. That I think that started in Disney World.
Yeah.
But I was like, that is such a good idea because standing in line, and I know Disneyland has already done a lot to have like a story that you can sort of see as you, but it's still not.
Disney World
Great.
did, and I didn't notice that they had. That's the wrong app. They didn't have any of this at Disneyland that I noticed. But at Disney World or at Magic Kingdom for the Splash Mountain one, it's actually. In fact, I was just playing it when Gwen walked up. But it has like actual like game things that like you can play.
Oh, yeah.
That aren't related necessarily specifically to.
Oh, you can play separately from being in line for the ride. You mean?
Yeah. But it's also like so a lot of their stuff you can only do like you can
It's locked unless you are right because it senses where you are. So unless you are like in the queue for
but
that
the
ride.
Splash Mountain one is a zippity doodah. And they have like this one's actually kind of fun. So they have all these different things and so each one of them is a different little game
Oh, interesting.
that you play.
So you have to see. I mean, you can see on the map. It'll show you which things have things on the Disney Play app. It's really cool
on
in Galaxy's Edge.
wait
though.
in the Disney Play.
You have to
app
be in the
or
Disney
in
Play
the-
app. They're not linked to each other, so the Disneyland app will not be like, by the way, you might want to check out Disney Play.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it does say that,
Oh, well, okay.
but it doesn't link to.
It won't say like, wow, you're here in this specific
Right.
spot. At least
Yeah.
I have not experienced
Yeah.
that.
No, I
It
just saw
does
an
say
ad
it
that
does have an
says-
ad
yeah.
that says you
Yeah.
should download this.
I mean, it is kind of fun. Like they have these trivia things, so you can play that at any time.
Yep. Okay.
And if you're with people, like you can play some of the games together.
And you can look for hidden Mickeys if you get bored too. There's hidden Mickeys throughout Disneyland, like everywhere, that are literally
I've heard of it.
things shaped like Mickey Mouse's head, and they're everywhere.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fun to do. I feel like I'm forgetting important things.
It's okay.
Good
Okay.
walking shoes.
Oh yeah, don't buy new shoes and then like expect to wear them when you're there. Because I tend to clock like 30,000 steps for one day in Disney.
I'm usually around 20,000.
Yeah,
I have no reference point to know what that means, but okay.
it's way more than I normally walk in
Okay.
any given
I
day.
average on probably 8 on an average day.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think it's like a couple miles walking.
Okay, I'm trying to think if I can think of any last things. Anything I've forgotten, family? They're not gonna.
So I did 16,000 when I was at Magic Kingdom. It was about 7 miles. And then I did 22 at Universal, so it was almost 9.5 miles.
Cool.
Are you planning to meet any Well, you want to meet all the Star Wars characters. You probably don't care as much about like
Yeah, I don't do the character
princesses
stuff.
or
Not so
any
much.
of that sort of stuff.
Nope.
Okay. And in Star Wars, it's just so different because it's not like there's a meet and greet. They're just walking around like normal people. Anyway, it's hard to even get a picture with them.
Is it?
I feel like it was like trying to figure out a way to interact with. I'm sure now
They
that
have a
we're
list.
shopping, I think
If you that same link that I sent you, if you filter, you can. It says Good Neighbor Hotels. They have 49 Good Neighbor Hotels, and so they tell you like the category and how far it is. So like this one's across the street.
Ooh, you could take the monorail in one day too, especially if lines are long outside at like the front gate. You may one day, since you're there multiple days, want to go in. So the monorail enters. You can get in farther down in
The monorail is
Down.
a
the monorail is different.
Yeah.
It goes like around the whole park and closer to the hotel.
but it's by the entrance?
No, it's not. It's closer to. So here's the Disneyland Hotel. It's closer to the Disneyland Hotel so that people can walk out of the Disneyland Hotel and get on the monorail and get in the park. So if you wanted to enter the park from a different spot, it sometimes can be faster to enter from there. And usually the thing that takes the longest anywhere is getting through security.
Oh,
Ooh.
like can you bring in backpacks or
You
no?
can.
But they
There's a
search
list
them.
of things they search them. There's a list of things you,
have to go through
can't
metal
bring.
detector.
You have to go through a metal detector, and there are lockers too in Disneyland. So
you pay for?
That you pay for. But
Sure.
if you felt like you wanted to carry around or it was too heavy, you could do that.
Okay.
But it might be fun one day to go in down here and go in by the
Where
monorail.
is that?
So the section in between the two where there's a bunch of shopping and off to the side is called Downtown Disney.
Yeah, I've been
right?
to Downtown Disney briefly.
So if you keep walking through Downtown Disney past
the
Earl of Sandwich.
That's where it is.
Well, I guess it's between the Earl of Sandwich and right across from the Lego store. That'll be an easy landmark. Right across from the Lego store is the entrance to the monorail.
Oh, okay.
So kind of towards the end
Gotcha.
before you hit
And
the
you
Disneyland
can,
Hotel.
and so that's not in the park, but
No, it'll take you into the park. It'll
but
also
you can
take you
ride
out
it
of the
into
park.
the park.
So you could also take the monorail out of the park.
But then
like,
how do
to
you
leave.
like to like scan before you get on the monorail?
Yes, so there's another like ticket entrance there
Gotcha.
inside. I haven't done it in a long time. But that's another way that you could get into the park if you A, wanted to try a different way, and B, wanted to be done.
Okay.
And that spits you out over by Autopia, by Finding Nemo, by Matterhorn, somewhere over there. More towards Tomorrowland.
Okay.
And bypasses like the craziness of Main Street.
Gotcha.
So just another option should you want to. And you can take the train from section to section if you get tired throughout the day.
Train. This is different from the
This is different
monorail.
from the monorail.
Yeah.
There's also a train that circles that starts at, it starts at any of the 4 places. It goes from Main Street to New Orleans to Toontown to Tomorrowland and then back to Main Street.
Yep.
And if you want a really weird section, go from Tomorrowland to Main Street where there's dinosaurs.
There's a section between Toontown and Tomorrowland, I feel like, too.
Is that maybe that's the section I'm thinking of.
Somewhere, yeah.
There's dinosaurs. There's this whole. It's
a
whole
whole
thing.
scene that you like go by.
You go back in time.
Do a little
It's like,
narrative.
let's go back in time when there were the dinosaurs. And you're like,
For no apparent reason.
with music and dinosaurs.
Well, because everything has to, your whole experience has to have some entertainment.
and it's been
value.
around for. It's like one of the way back when things.
Okay.
So if you get tired of walking though, and you're like, oh, I need to get to this other park.
The train
Sometimes
can
there's a
come
long
speed.
line for the train, but like even currently as we're looking at it, it's like a 20-minute ride out of various places. And especially since there's only one of you and it's not like you have like a stroller or something cumbersome, you should be able to easily
Okay.
get on like when the next one comes around. So another thing to consider. If you're over getting a mint julep and some beignets, you might just decide you
Jump
want to get
on
on the
the train.
Disneyland Railroad over
Okay,
there.
good to know.
Go over to Toontown. The only thing worth riding in Toontown is
Roger Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit.
I've done that one.
Or Gadget's Go Coaster, which is like
That's
a
a new
30-second
one.
roller coaster.
I haven't gone on that
It's
one.
like 30 seconds. And you can see all the characters' houses and stuff. And if you want to meet Mickey
Yeah.
or Minnie, get your
I
photo
mean,
with them.
I've been to Toontown.
Yeah.
Toontown was relatively new when I went
Yeah, that makes sense.
over 25 years ago.
Toontown, yeah, because
Because
I
Roger
went
Rabbit,
for,
the movie had been out.
Oh, man.
grad night
Oh, you're so
To
cool.
Toontown?
to
Or to Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Of course you did.
And they did it where you could only, so they opened the park at like 10 or 11, and we were there all night.
Oh, you got to be there, like rented out the whole park?
That's what they do. It's a grad
It's
night.
what Disneyland does.
They still do
That's
it.
got to be super expensive.
No, Disneyland opens it up to different schools, and so a bunch of schools.
Oh.
And you pay, but it's
You
like
pay
you
for
pay
it,
for
but it's
the
a
event.
specific event that
I see.
Disneyland puts on.
On a very specific night.
On specific
You
nights.
can still look up like, I don't want to go to the park that day. They're going to close early because it's grad night or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, I see.
Or
And
they'll
so
have
they,
extra people
they
because
bring
it's
you
grad
in.
night.
You can only arrive by bus, so they don't want you driving or coming on your own. You have to come
Okay.
as part of your school.
Yep.
You arrive on bus, you come in, and then you cannot leave the park. You're stuck there until like 6 or 7 o'clock the next morning.
Oh, gosh.
And then you get back on the bus and you get taken back to school. And so and because it's limited, you're on the rides. Like you can ride pretty quick. Like you're not waiting in long lines, right?
Because
it's
there's a
limited number
lot of people, but not anywhere near what it normally is.
Right. And so we'd ridden everything. And we're just like exhausted. And
Yep.
so we're like, let's go to Toontown and sleep on Mimi's bed. And so we went into Toontown and hung out in Minnie's house for a long time because it was a place to sit down and like relax a
Oh,
little bit.
wow. Oh, wow.
That's
So-
fantastic.
And it was fairly new at that point in time.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. It's kind of sad looking over there now. It needs
Yeah.
some love, which it will get some soon before they open the new Mickey and Minnie roller coaster over there. I was gonna say though, I did find out they do actually have the Play app. There are spots where it says like you can get
Oh, they
this
integrated
on the
in.
Play app,
Okay.
so at least shows you like you could be trying this.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, the app is brilliant.
the app is what you need. So you definitely need to be able to charge your phone multiple times.
The Play app.
The main app.
with the wait times and
Yeah.
where everything is.
That's
Okay.
where you do everything from.
Okay.
That's the big thing. That's the big takeaway from this is
Get the app.
Get the app.
Get the app.
Which
Create
I
your
have.
account. Make sure you're logged in when you get in there, and if you want to get Max Pass, you basically do it as soon as you get in.
Okay.
Make sure your credit card will. That can sometimes be hard making your
3
credit
hour
card work.
wait right now for Hagrid's
Whoa!
at Universal.
Good thing you're not
180
going there.
minutes.
And you did it.
Oh.
How? Was that the one you got off and got right back on?
No, that was a different one.
160-minute wait right now at Radiator Spring Racers. So you definitely want
Gross.
to do single rider or a fast pass on that one.
I mean, this is also, you said, one of the busiest weeks all year between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
Well, and again, like I mentioned earlier, they actually closed Disneyland to
Yeah.
any additional ticket sales earlier this week. So
Yeah.
hopefully it will not be that busy when I'm there. I'm sure it will still be busy, but because I don't think there's ever a time where it's not busy.
Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey was the one that's my favorite. And It was
Okay.
90 minutes.
Okay.
It was so funny. So I went to Universal a year ago with my coworker
In
And-
Florida or in
when we were in
California?
Florida.
Okay.
So we were there for work, and we had one day where we had no interviews, and so I'm like, let's go to an amusement park because
Yep.
we're here.
Yep.
And so she was like, I want to go to Universal because she loves Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter, sure.
So we had to do that. But she doesn't like roller coasters.
Like me.
But she doesn't even like, I mean, like it starts to move at all and she gets a little freaked out. And I'm
Oh.
like, why are we going to Universal? Because like there's crazy rides there. I ended up going on, because I didn't when she was there, but I went when I was there, this crazy one. And so you're in trouble when you sit down and it
geez.
straps like literally you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And you start off and it goes straight up
Oh.
like this. I mean literally straight up.
Oh, no thank you. No thank you.
It was really scary. The thing with Universal is you can't bring bags in. You can't bring bags on any rides. So they have lockers outside of
Every
almost
ride.
every
Like
single
Legoland.
ride. And you, luckily they have them for free.
Okay.
And you just use your card to like scan it. It opens it. You put it in. You scan it. It was so fun, but it was scary as well.
I also think you'd like Turtle Talk with Crush. I'm looking at random things.
Oh yeah.
I think you would
Is
enjoy
that a
that a lot.
show?
It's kind of a show. It's inside. So there's this
that in
big
California
building
Adventure?
in California Adventure called the Animation Academy, or well, I don't remember if that's what the building's called. I think so. And that's where like Anna and Elsa and Olaf are. Not, If you wanted to meet them, you can like do drawing stuff with people. And that maybe is what the Animation Academy is. It's this big building, and then they have Turtle Talk with Crush. So it's like this computer.
He recognizes where.
Yeah,
people-
there's a big screen and it's a live, like he talks to people in the audience. There's like somebody who's like, and he takes a microphone and gives it
Yeah.
to people, and he live has conversations
Do
with
they
people.
have
Oh, that's
Laugh
cool.
Factory at Disneyland? Because they do the same thing. They have Laugh Factory at Universal.
All
But
right.
I think you would like that because you get to interact and talk with him live.
That's cool.
Potentially, if you get called on.
Kind of like Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, and you should see the Frozen show.
Yeah, is it good?
Yes, it's very good.
Okay.
I highly suggest it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Okay.
Cool.
We're good.
Thank you.
We have imparted all things that you need to know.
That's everything I need to know. Right
That's
there.
never going to be everything, but
No,
I
it's
can't.
not.
I'm not coming with you, so that's as good as we're going to
Can we get a sailboat chasing down the sunset as we float round and round the globe? Salty air and balmy nights, guided only by the lights above, and a little love. Oh, the world is out there waiting to explore, and all our troubles here wanting to be